Allison Colby, and I'm actually the director for Dane County Friends of Ferals. And we're on the east side of Madison right now, over by a restaurant that they're doing construction on, as you can probably hear. But in the back of this restaurant, behind the dumpsters, there's actually a colony of feral cats that we have been feeding, and we've been trapping slowly and trying to get them spayed and neutered. So we're going to take a look back there. There was an older gentleman that worked at the restaurant that was feeding them, and we knew about them for years. He wouldn't allow us to come in and trap. He was taking very good care of them. Last summer, sadly enough, he died, and his neighbors took over feeding, and then that's when they contacted us, and we've been trying to get the population under control since then. And so last summer at this time, there were over 40 cats and kittens. We started trapping in September, and we managed to get the population down to almost nothing. And now this is a good example actually of why trap, neuter, return is promoted instead of just going in trapping and taking the cats and not returning them, because now new cats are showing up. And we have 4 new cats that are now suddenly here and eating that weren't here last year. And I think there are small colonies of cats, honestly, all over this area. So all of the cats that we have trapped here have gone to good outdoor homes once they've been sterilized. Or the kittens that we trapped last summer, actually, we were able to, with the kittens, because they're so young, we really say no kitten is ever feral, it's just under-socialized. They tame up really quickly, we get them spayed and neutered, and they get adopted to indoor homes. The goal with this population, and the reason we're continuing to feed them here, is because we want to get all of them trapped, and we would then spay, neuter, vaccinate, and we would find them new homes on farms and in rural areas with a responsible caregiver. We would never encourage continuing to allow a population like this to grow and just continuing to feed them. That would get incredibly out of hand quickly. If we would be able to return the cats after they were neutered, they would utilize the resources in this area, and that's what we call the vacuum effect. Right now in the city of Madison, it's not legal to re-release the cats after they've been spayed and neutered, even if they have a caregiver and they've got winter shelter and they're being taken care of. If we could get that changed, that would help to solve the problem of just the population continuing to increase.
What has been referred to, I guess, as a vacuum effect, of course, depends strongly on an animal defending an exclusive territory. And unfortunately, cats do not defend exclusive territories. Witness the fact that, in fact, you can create a feral cat colony, that you can have large numbers of cats living together in the same area.
If you have a cat that sits in the window and another cat comes walking by the yard, your cat is likely to get, the hair raised on the back of its neck. It's going to whine and scream and start a fight. Cats get in fights all the time, and I mean, they seem to be territorial.
That's not territoriality. What you're seeing there is aggression toward another individual. Much of that, at least in cats, probably has to do with something more akin to individual space, that they don't like cats, other cats close to them, especially males. Territoriality has a very precise definition. It means that the animal is occupying and defending an exclusive area from which it excludes all other individuals of its species, with the exception of its mate and offspring. And that simply doesn't happen.
Trap and kill, or in this case, shoot to kill, does not work. To control and reduce free-roaming cat populations, the Dane County Veterinary Medical Association advocates trap, neuter, return.
We were quite interested in this approach. Initially, from a biological or an ecological perspective, it seemed to be a non-starter, because we're more than enthusiastic about people trapping these free-ranging cats. If you want to neuter them and treat them of their diseases, that's fine if it makes you feel better.
With this approach, cats are live trapped, neutered, returned to the site of capture, and released.
By releasing them right back into the environment where they're causing ecological problems, suddenly made this a difficult program for anyone who's concerned about native wildlife to buy into. Certainly the neutering prevents them from reproducing, but treating them of their diseases means that they live longer as individuals. So the two parts of the program, the treating and the neutering, are somewhat working in opposition in terms of keeping the numbers down.
Not only are TNR programs more effective, they are also less expensive to run and better for overall morale of everyone involved.
No matter how we ran the model, using even what we might say the most favorable numbers, the ones that would be most sort of predisposed to suggesting that this might work, suggested that for this to work at controlling the cat population, in other words, keeping it from growing or getting it to reduce in size, to shrink in size, would require that you trap unrealistically high portions of a cat population. You would have to trap and neuter well over a quarter of those cats to make a difference. Every year you would have to do that. And we know from our efforts how much effort it takes to trap these free-ranging cats. They are not at all easy.